What's up guys, Anthony with you with a quick DIY1ForAll video, and in today's video I'm going to answer a user's question that they posted on the DIY1ForAll channel. And this question was posted under my video that I uploaded back in 2015 on charging a 24 volt and a 12 volt battery system simultaneously from the same voltage source. So here's a question, and the user's name is Malakia Angala. Hope I'm saying it okay. And or Angala, and says, "Hi, I have two panels, and they're 24 volt panels and 250 watts each, and I have an inverter, which is a 12 volt inverter, and 8,000 watts." And they mentioned the battery is a 105 amp hour battery at 12 volts. And they have a 12 volt / 24 volt solar charge controller. Okay, and they want to know how to connect the system. And I want to answer this question because I think it's very important, because many people are new to solar systems and they're new to wiring up a system, and they go out and they buy parts, and then they might not be clear as to how to get it wired. So that's what these videos are all about, is to help you. If you have run into a similar situation, you have gone out, you have bought out the necessary components, but you have trouble wiring it, then the DIY1ForAll channel is here for you. And of course, we'll try to answer your question to the best of our knowledge. So I'm going to take you to the whiteboard, and we're going to draw this scenario out. So let's just jump to the whiteboard right now. Let's just draw it out right here. So let me just click here. And so according to the question, here we have two 24 volt 250 watt panels. Okay, so I'm just going to draw some panels here. And this is not to scale or anything like that, it's just rough drawing right now. Okay, and let's give it some color. Let's just say that that's positive, and let's just say that's negative. Okay, all right, so now we're going to need, of course, we got our two 24 volt solar panels, so it's 24 volts. Okay, and we've got two of those. Okay, all right, so according to the question, he has a 12 volt solar inverter. So that's very important. So if you have a 12 volt solar inverter, and I'm assuming that he has two 12 volt batteries. Okay, he said 12 volt batteries. He didn't mention how many batteries he has. So let's just assume that he has two 12 volt batteries. Okay, so let's just assume that he has two of those. All right, that's an assumption. And he has a 30 amp solar charge controller, and he wants to know how to connect it. Okay, so let's just fill in the pieces here. So of course, from the solar panels, and we're gonna have the solar charge controller here. Let me just do this in black. Let's erase that, and let's just draw the solar charge controller. Okay, all right, before we get to the solar charge controller, we're going to need some kind of combiner box to combine the positives. Okay, because we want to maintain 24 volts here. All right, so let's just assume that we have a combiner here, and just going to draw it like that and divide it. And this side is going to be positive, and this side here is going to be negative. Okay, so let's combine all the positives here, and let's combine all the negative terminals here. Okay, well, wrong color. Bum, erase. Let's pick black. So all the negatives will go here, and all the positive terminals will go right over here, just like that. Okay, And let's just write the word combiner. Okay, so combiner, which is a fancy name for a junction box. Okay, so you can call it a junction box where everything comes together. So all the positives are together and all the negatives are together. All right. So from that, now we're going to have two wires coming down to our solar charge controller. So here we're going to have positive right here, and of course we're going to have negative right here. All right, let's just draw it like that, negative. All right, so that's our solar charge controller here. Okay. All right, so what type of solar charge controller you guys think we're going to need here? Note we have a 24-volt panels, and we wired them in parallel because we want to combine them. We don't want to increase the voltage here. So they are wired in parallel. So right here we still have 24 volts. Okay. So 24 volts. So when you wire things in parallel, what happens? The voltage remains the same, but the amps will increase. Okay. So 24 volts here. So the type of charge controller we have, note the question that was asked. He has a 24 volt / 12 volt solar charge controller. Okay. So that's what he has. So we have to maintain 24 volts here. Okay. So let's just assume, and I'm thinking he may have a PWM solar charge controller, which, let's just write PWM solar charge controller. M. Okay. And this is our CC. All right. So we're maintaining 24 volts. We have 24 volts coming down. Okay. And then down here, we're going to have, I'm assuming, and let's just change the color. I like to use black to draw stuff. Click here, and we're going to have two 12-volt batteries here. Okay, these are the prettiest batteries you'll ever see. Okay. So we need to maintain 24 volts. But this is what he has here. Okay. So we need to maintain 24 volts. So let's just identify the terminals. We've got positive here, and we're going to have negative here. I keep on forget to change my color. All right. So let's click on that. And we need to have negative right here. And of course, positive here. And you know the drift, negative here. Okay. So these are our two 12-volt batteries. I'm assuming that he has two batteries. All right. He could have more, but at any rate, we want to maintain a 24-volt system here. All right. So from here, we have our solar charge controller, and I'm just going to say that this side is a positive side and this side is a negative side. So the wire coming from the solar charge controller here, that's the red wire, that's positive. I like to put the plus, and the black wire coming out, and this is the output. Here is the input. Probably should specify that. All right. And this is out. So this is coming out of the solar charge controller. So here is out, and here is in. All right. So in and out. Okay. Now we need to maintain a 24-volt system, and we have two 12-volt batteries right here. Okay. 12 volts. We need to maintain a 24-volt system because he has a 12-volt / 24-volt PWM solar charge controller. All right. All right. So here now, what we need to do, we need to connect the positive terminal to the positive terminal of the battery. All right, and that's the negative. And now we need to connect the negative terminal to the negative terminal of the battery right there. All right. All right, so here we have positive to positive, negative to negative. All right, let me just put a line here for negative. Now, what we need to do, we need to connect to, remember we are in series, right? So series, you're going to have positive here. And over here, you're going to have negative here, okay? So if this is 2 volts and this is 2 volts, positive to negative, okay? So here we go. So we're tying these together, positive to negative. And then this is going to our voltmeter right here. Okay, and this is going to be negative, and this is going to be positive. That will give you 4 volts. So that's a series circuit. Okay, so here we have a series circuit. We want a series circuit, so we'll go from positive, and I like to use black for this. So we're going from positive to negative. Okay, so this will give us 24 volts. All right, so now we have the system wired for 24 volts based on what he has. Okay, so we have two 24 volt solar panels up here. Okay, both of these, and we have run these to a combiner box, which is just a fancy name for our junction box. And then from there we have 2 wires going out to the PWM Solar Charge Controller. All right, and we are maintaining a 24 volt system because he has 24 volt panels, and he has a 12 volt / 24 volt solar charge controller. Okay, so here from there we go to our batteries. We have 2 batteries, and we have connected these batteries in series. Okay, in series, and as a result we now have 24 volts. Okay, so we now have a 24 volt system there. Let's just erase this now. Okay, so the next part of the question is that he has a 12 volt inverter, but he has a 24 volt system. So that's the first problem right there. He has a 12 volt inverter and he has a 24 volt system. Okay, so because he has a 12 volt inverter, you will not be able to use this inverter in a 24 volt setup. So Malakia, you will need a 12 volt system. You cannot have a 24 volt system with a 12 volt inverter. Okay, so this just shows you how to wire a 24 volt system, but for your problem, or for the parts that you've already purchased, you will need a 12 volt system. So we'll have to do something different here. All right, so let's just go ahead and erase everything right here. This will work, but of course you would need a 24 volt inverter. Okay, with this particular system here. So I'm just going to erase this for right now. Let's just clean the whiteboard. This is fancy notepad. All right, let's just clean it. All right, so here's the issue. Malakia and viewers who may have this same problem, you need to do 2 things, or one of 2 things. One, you can keep your 12 volt inverter, but because you have 24 volt panels, you're going to need an MPPT. That's the best looking piece you've ever seen. Solar Charge Controller. Okay, so it's a solar charge controller for this system. Okay, all right, just erase all this mess on the board right now. So here we go. So you'll still combine the two 24-volt panels. Okay, but down here, what you'll have, you'll have to buy, if you don't already have, because I'm assuming that you have a PWM solar charge controller because of what you have listed here. Okay, so you'll need to purchase an MPPT Solar, I'll just put CC for charge controller. You're going to need that, because what you will have to do, you have 24 volts coming in right now, all right, and you want to dial this back to 12 volts. Okay, so you have 24 volts in. Okay, and you want 12 volts out. And the reason why I did that, because you want to be able to use your 12-volt inverter. All right, so you need to purchase this, which means more money out of your pocket, but it's probably cheaper than buying a brand new inverter. Okay, so that's what you'll have to do to make the system work with your current inverter. Okay, so assuming that you have gone out and you have purchased an MPPT Solar Charge Controller, then what you need to do now, you need to have these two 12-volt batteries wired in parallel. Okay, because for the output here, okay, let's do that. You're going to have 12 volts coming out, just like that. You'll have 12 volts coming out. So using the MPPT Solar Charge Controller, you'll dial back the voltage, or you step it down to 12 volts. Okay, you have to do that. You'll have to do that. So now with your batteries, you're going to have your batteries wired how? In parallel. So you're going to still have your two 12-volt batteries here. All right, and you're going to have, I'm going to put the positive terminal here, positive here, and then you're going to have negative terminal here, negative here. All right, you can't do this, because if you do that, then you're going to have series, which you don't want. You want parallel, because you want to maintain 12 volts, right? You want to keep a 12-volt system. So this has to be 12 volts. All right, so now this is what you'll have to do. You're going to connect the negative terminals together, and you're going to connect the positive terminals together. Let me just do this in red, erase this. Okay, so you want to connect the positive terminals together. Okay, so this is an example of batteries wired in parallel. So parallel. Okay, whereas before you saw the series. So right now what you have here is one big battery. I put B for battery, well, a BTT. Okay, you have one big battery right now, which is what? It's still 12 volts. Okay, because remember, when you wire things in parallel, when you wire batteries in parallel, or panels or whatever in parallel, the voltage will stay the same. Okay, so again, you need to either purchase a 24 volt inverter, or you'll have to purchase an MPPT Solar Charge Controller. All right, so now from the negative or the positive terminal of the MPPT Solar Charge Controller, we'll go here to the positive terminal of the battery, and from the negative terminal, output terminal of the MPPT Solar Charge Controller, we go to the negative terminal of the battery. Okay, now here you have a 12 volt inverter, not a scalar or anything. It's going to call INV. That's your inverter right there. Okay, and of course we're going to have these big old terminals on it, or big old lugs. That's positive. It says 12 volts, and then it's going to have a big negative terminal on it. All right, that's negative. All right, so let's put a plus right here. All right, so now this is your DC, DC in, and right here you're gonna have, doesn't matter if these are the same or not, it's alternating current. You're gonna have AC out. That's not the best sine wave, but you're gonna have AC out. All right, okay, good. So here we come. You go from the positive terminal to right here to the positive terminal of the inverter. So from the positive terminal of the far end battery to the positive terminal of the inverter. Okay, so DC in. Then you go from the negative terminal of the battery to the negative terminal of the inverter. All right, so therefore this is how you do it. You saw the previous example, and this is the ideal way to wire the system if you want to keep your current 12 volt inverter. You need to purchase an MPPT Solar Charge Controller. Okay guys, I hope this video has helped you if you're new to solar, and let me know if you have any questions, and feel free to comment. If you like this video, give a thumbs up, and if you've not subscribed, subscribe to get all the updates from this channel. All right, Anthony coming to you with a quick DIY1ForAll video. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you on the next video.